All right, Rachel, before we talk about kids growing a work ethic or developing a work ethic, let's talk about the primary example of work that they see growing up. Um, what would you say about motherhood as work, motherhood as vocation?
Um, as in, is it a vocation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
is motherhood any work at all?
of course. And I think that is really the main problem with motherhood. I think most people would love it if it was just the cute times at the park or the easy things, but
Right.
it is totally work. It's work nonstop through the night and through the day.
Do you know when people say when people ask the question, "Do you work?" Um, meaning, do you have a job with a paycheck that you drive away from the house for?
Right.
What's the implication of the question? Do you work?
Well, it's more that the work you're doing at home isn't worth your time. Not that it's not work, but the feeling that it's so menial and it's changing diapers and it's snotty noses and that's all you think you're good for. And so do you work is really like, do you work doing anything of value? Not, I think most people, it's the work of being at home that drives them away. It's not the
Lack of work.
assumption that there's not anything to do there.
Okay, so how how can a mother work in such a way that the kids see the work, so that she's setting a good example, and at the same time not be acting like a martyr? Like, look,
Right.
if you make the work, it seems like if you make the work absolutely invisible, then the kids will be 16 years old before they realize that somebody has to
That their
cook
clothes
food.
just end up folded in their closet. It's
Yes.
not actually how it works.
Every night a fairy
Um,
comes. If you
right.
hide it completely, they don't see the example. They don't benefit from it.
Right.
But if you show it completely, they start to resent the martyr complex. How would you walk that balance?
You know, honestly, I think it's just an issue of joy and being thankful for what you're doing and doing it in a way. I think your kids see that, even if they see you doing things that aren't so glamorous, they see it. I honestly don't know that it's possible that any mother of maybe more than one child actually can get it all done without anyone noticing. I would like to take issue with that. I think my kids are very aware of the cycle of laundry and dishes and things happening. I don't know how we could hide that from them. I think
Okay.
because that is home right now. It's like that's what we do there. So I don't think that we could hide it even if we
Okay.
wanted to.
What would you say about including kids, even little kids,
Right.
or especially little kids, in routine jobs? Might be guaranteed to make that job last 3 times longer.
Yeah, it will.
But
It certainly will.
but is there any value in that, or do you want
Yeah, there is. We do a lot of that all at our house. Although I want it to be fun for them because I do take pleasure in the work that I'm doing. I like our house to be in order. I love to cook. I like those things, and I want them to know that. And there are our children, I don't know if every child is like this, but we're born with a desire to be in the kitchen. And both Luke and I are that way. So if they sense that I'm maybe going to do something in the kitchen, I hear chairs getting pushed in like everybody's coming in. Like, I am here to help. And then they always say, Mom, I'll just watch. I'll just watch. Okay, can I put that in? Like, it's just this immediate. But I really feel like they're just young right now. And in a number of years, that will actually be really helpful. And right now, it's not helpful. It's just extra stuff. But I do feel like you could, as an adult, I've been in the kitchen with people who don't know how to help, like who don't understand what's happening. They don't know how to anticipate something. And we've talked about that. Like, well, we want our kids to be people who are actually good at helping with things. And in order for them to do that, like, we could weed that out of their personality now by
Right.
making them stay out, not letting them try anticipating.
Right.
But right now, it's just kind of a wild time in
Is
the
it
kitchen.
is it a wild time? Do you try to have it be a serious work time, or is it semi playtime, or what? How
Yeah,
do you?
no, it's not too serious of a work time. Like if I make bread, sometimes we pull off a piece of it that I don't care what happens to it and let them make a little baby loaf. But by the time it hits the pan, it's been through about everything that a baby loaf of bread could go through. But I mean, I get things done in the kitchen, and they like to be in there. Sometimes I make them all sit down on a line on the floor and tell me something, or I talk to them about stuff while I'm working. But we do let them. And with cleaning up stuff and work around the house, I do try to incorporate them, not all the time, but at least some of the time. But when I do, I want it to be fun and something that they want to be doing and help with.
You wrote something somewhere. I'm not sure if it was in your book or in one of your posts about pitching in with the kids instead of
pulling instead of pushing.
Yeah, pulled and pushed. Talk about that for a little bit.
Whenever you tell people what you do with small children, it sounds pretty stupid when they're not there. We play a game called Clean Up Superstars that happens sometimes. We do things like when I make them go under their beds to get stuff. I'm not sure when this started, but it's going on a spacewalk. They have to go under their beds to get stuff out. And whenever I am actually going to discipline them for not obeying right away on something, I want to make sure that it is a time of joyful, if they are obeying, it's a time of joyful fun, so that there is both sides of it. There is fellowship if you're obeying, and there is discipline if you're not obeying.
Disobedience is falling out of joy,
right? But there should be joy there,
right.
not like if you're not obeying, or if you do obey, that means you're in your room by yourself for an hour shuffling around trying to figure out what to do. But it means obedience is fellowship and joy, and not necessarily like a big candy fest or anything, just fellowship. Just I'm there, we're enjoying it.
What about mom or dad pitching in? Like if you tell the kids to go pick up your room, or do you pitch in with them, or do you expect them to do it by themselves, or how do you do that?
I do pitch in with them, and I know my kids are on the young end. I mean, our oldest is 7, so right now if we sent our kids off to do something, we would end up with maybe the oldest 2 having to deal. The twins are still at that age that they might pick up like 2 or 3 things, and then they'd get really involved in a game with something that they found, and they just lose sight of what they're doing. And so we don't want to send the kids without me off somewhere, or without Luke, to go clean up the playroom, and you're all going to be in trouble if you don't do it, because I feel like that is kind of just sending out an invite for sibling resentments and squabbles, and I'm doing this, and mom and dad, I have to do it, or we're all going to get in trouble, and you're not even helping. And so we do all the time pitch in with it.
Okay.
And I also remember I do frequently when the girls are gone, or if they're off doing something else, I'll clean up their bedroom. And I mean, I don't feel like it's important to say, you put that there, you have to pick it up.
But everybody is involved in picking up generally. So it's not like
everybody has to pick up things that they didn't touch.
Right.
Everybody, even me.
So it's not just you picking up for others; they all pick up for others.
Yes, exactly. It's not, and that's not a. I think that's a good thing, because I really don't want it to be like, how can I get out of this with the least amount? There's no easy to figure out plan of what exactly you have to deal with, and then you stop. It's like, if we are cleaning up, we call it the white tornado. We are all picking up the house now. The whole family is. We are the white tornado, and we give the younger kids really specific jobs, like go put this there, and then they,
Right.
So we do, but we all have to do it until it's done.
Good. Thank you.